ranking. Clemson at one point, they were the #2 team in the country. A little bit of a stumble has them out of the rankings now, but here we go. NC State in the white from left to right. Clemson in the orange from right to left. Has the makings of what could be one of the best games on the calendar in the ACC in 2025. Happy to bring it to you on the network with Ian Carey. I'm Joe Malfa.
Go ahead and start shooting. I'm going to look up the manual on this thing to see if I can figure it out.
From distance here, shot for a handball. It's all about setting the tone in this game. We alluded to it at the top of the broadcast. What Clemson brings offensively in ACC play, 2.75 goals per game. What NC State brings defensively, a half goal allowed per game through 4 games. And NC State wants to slow it down a little bit. They play tighter. Clemson wants to run and gun. Who can assert themselves? Likely decide who comes away with the 3 points tonight.
I think you saw from the get-go, it's going to be this long ball into Donovan Phillip. Can he go and deal with these 2 set-up backs? And can NC State push up the field underneath them to go and gain some possession and get, be productive in that final third?
Isaac Heffis, part of this dynamic center-back duo. Started every game alongside Nikola Markovic, redshirt junior, and Heffis, who came to NC State from New Hampshire following his head coach Mark Hubbard. Nikola Markovic now in his 2nd year, Canadian center back, all ACC freshman team last year. Callum Tommy tried to push it ahead for Donovan Phillip. Series history is pretty one-sided between these 2 programs, but it's certainly a new era for Mark Hubbard at NC State. 43-15 with 8 draws all time. Teams haven't met since 2023. That makes tonight the first meeting between a Mark Hubbard coached NC State team and Mike Noonan. And since Hubbard took over last year, they've had a revolution here, the Wolfpack. Only 1 win, the Wolfpack against the Tigers since Mike Noonan took charge of Clemson in 2010. 13-1-1, the record in that time. Duquesne. It's inside of Tommy. Ajabang flicked on by Richmond to Remy Okunlola. Okunlola patient. Jimenez feeds it wide. Floated in over the head of Yoshizawa. Callum Tommy will retrieve. Here's that long ball to Donovan Phillip. He's formed a good pair up top with Ibrahim Condé, who missed all of September. Ibrahim Condé has gotten back healthy now for head coach Mark Hubbard. The 2 head coaches familiar. Mark Hubbard made the tournament last year with NC State, 7 seasons prior with New Hampshire. And his New Hampshire ties with Mike Noonan go way back there. The U12 Seacoast United team back in the 90s. A club up there that Mike Noonan helped found. He coached a U12, Mark Hubbard. And here they are, 30 years later, coaching against each other in the ACC.
It's crazy how that comes about, and the respect for both of them for each other when we're on those calls over the last couple of days. And you saw it before, the handshake. They were very, very happy to see each other, but utmost respect for the 2 guys. And I hope Mark Hubbard does really good things for the state of North Carolina. Great 2 great coaches going up against each other, and it's like the Yoda against the Jedi.
I'm not going to tell Mike Noonan that you called him the Yoda in this equation here.
Please don't. Please don't.
In pregame, it was all warm between those 2. Not the first time they've met as head coaches. Taking back to the 2023 NCAA tournament, Clemson, en route to a national title, took down Mark Hubbard's New Hampshire team before he took the job here at NC State. So much respect between those guys. And Mike Noonan formerly coached at New Hampshire himself. If you look at the record books, the 8 trips to the NCAA tournament for New Hampshire, once coached by Mike Noonan, 7 times by Mark Hubbard. Long throw, did by Heffis. Clemson comes away with it. Adding to that, Mark Hubbard used to be a ball boy for Mike Noonan's New Hampshire team, so there's so much history between these 2. Toward Condé. Yoshizawa lays it off. Lucas Feathers, the referee, plays advantage. Here's our first look at Renz for Gian. Battling through the contacts. Gian switches. Okunlola brings it down. Nathan Richmond now. Yoshizawa to the penalty spot. Richmond has some options here. Gets to the end line. Richmond looking through. It's deflected. First corner of the evening.
I think the technical ability, when you see Gian coming across over to our near side and being able to switch the play, that's exactly what Clemson are looking to do. Can they go and switch the point of attack from the strong side out to the weak side and get across into the box for somebody to go and get on the end of it? Absolutely quality. But then also you see the NC State so far right now is that anytime the ball's around them, they're smothering them with numbers. So again, there's that piece of chess that we spoke about in the intro.
Richmond goes direct from the corner, back post. It was there for Lucas Magnuson. One of the two big center backs you see up on set pieces, along with Floki Stevenson for Clemson. Flag stays down here. Magnuson gets it in. Stevenson trying the acrobatics. Now runs for Gian, tucks it underneath. Gian plays it through. Yoshizawa was there, but it's cleared.
And again, great clearance from the initial corner, but Mark Hubbard's going to be disappointed that they didn't get it further up the field, so at least to get a breather, reorganize, or get themselves in some sort of counter-attack.
They've only given up 2 goals all season. It was a 1-1 draw against Pitt and the 1-0 loss to Virginia. Only 2 times NC State has conceded this season, and they started with 8 straight clean sheets. No team had done that since 2011 Creighton, and that Creighton team made it to the College Cup. So in good company with that statistic.
I love it with Logan Urban goal. 2 goals all year, ranked #1 in the nation goals against. But I have to give credit to the 2 centre backs as well. You got Markovic and Heffes, right? Both of them man mounted in front of them, protecting them in moments like that. When the corner came into the box, they were able to go clear it. Like, as you said, very defensive, right? They're looking, they're very disappointed losing that game 1-0. But when you go back and look at the performance against Virginia, they played nearly 80 minutes with 10 men on the field and still create the opportunities and chances. And Virginia are a very, very good side. So Mark Hubbard's got to take great plaudits from his team for that performance, and taking it into tonight, he's got another opportunity. Like, you've got to take those positives and get after Clemson. We said that game plan, that game of chess. Can you get Donovan Phillip working up top? Can he create problems? And that's what they're going to try and do over the next 80-odd minutes.
It was an interesting conversation with Mark Hubbard reflecting on that loss. To your point, down a man for about 80 minutes, still your first loss of the season, so a little bit of a hangover from that. But in their estimation, and the estimations of many, Virginia might be the best team in the country. So to do that against that team, still impressive. Here's Conde now with Donovan Phillip to his left. Rolls it along for Tate. Healy brought down. Referee says play on. Conde wins it back. Feathers it through. And it's out for a corner.
Yeah, I don't think it was a PK. To be fair, when you go and have a look at Take Healy over the last number of weeks, right? He loves that contact, right? Any little piece of contact, and he's getting fouls all year from it. I don't think there's anything there when we go and look at but it does give a corner. It gives an opportunity for NC State to go serve the box.
The hand was on the shoulder, but it didn't seem like there was any sort of push. Healy, a veteran player in that midfield in his senior season, and to your point, a little bit of a reputation for that. Felt the hand, went down, not a bad effort.
And very smart, because we've seen those penalties given. So, once you feel the contact, if you're inside that area, why not take the advantage?
Riley Maloney takes the corner, 6 assists on the season. To the backside of the 6, won by Clemson. Awkward effort at a volley there. The Tigers get it clear. So many of those 6 assists for Riley Maloney on those set pieces, finding Donovan Phillip with 14 on the season. Here's Ransford Gian. It's like trying to catch a gnat when he runs by you. Slow center of gravity, listed at 5'3". So much speed, just has a great awareness in where the space is and how he can manipulate his body, draw the contact if he needs to.
And this is where Mark Hubbard's going to be so disappointed. All of this came from an NC State corner. A decent feed into the box, well dealt with the centre back, but Clemson are so dangerous on the counter-attack. The speed that they've got throwing those numbers forward, you cannot allow them to do that. So again, when you've got that set piece, the reserve into the box needed to be better.
Referee stops play here, man down for NC State. Slowly back to his feet, Tag Healy. Lucas Feathers will allow him to continue here, just stopped it precautionarily. Oh, the ball. That'll hurt.
It will.
Thankfully, it's not about a month or a month and a half from now when it'd be about 15, 20 degrees cooler. We're still in the 50s right now. We're talking about the 30s or 40s. Oh. That is going to leave a mark.
You'll be wearing that mark for a week. I've got plenty of those back in the day.
be a walk-in sponsor for Wilson if you,
right?
if you get that about a month and a half from now.
But again, that's something that you can see Clemson then trying to find those little spaces between the center back and the full back. And Logan Erb does his business. He's off his line nice and sharp, cleans up everything in behind the two center backs, and NC State back in possession.
His 9 clean sheets and their defensive track record, to your point earlier, yes, a lot of credit to the back line, but it's not like he's just getting the A on the group project. He has a 93% save percentage. He has come up big time and again for this NC State side.
And no bigger than last Sunday against Virginia. Some of the saves that he pulled off, he said, you go back and look at that game. There was moments within that game that Virginia looked like they were playing with a man down and not NC State. So NC State have got to take that momentum and that credit. Yes, they're going to be absolutely distraught with the loss. They're going to be, you know, the questionable was it? I've seen players sent off. I have seen players get a yellow card for the challenge. But having to play for the 80 minutes and yes, disappointed with the 1-0, but the performance that they put in, they had chances to get a tie and even go on to win that game.
2 ties on the season, 1-1 at Pitt, 0-0 here at Dale against rival UNC. And again, the lone loss to Virginia. So 10th ranked NC State. They were, as I mentioned, number 1 at one point. It was the first time in program history they ascended to the number 1 ranking. Still sitting at number 10, but sitting on the outside looking in of the spots you want to be in for the ACC tournament, the spots where you host a game first round. You want to be top 4, so you can guarantee yourself with a win hosting in the quarters as well. They're currently sitting in 9th. A little game for them to have some climbing in their future. I'll keep you updated as well. 2 other games going on right now. It's Duke visiting Boston College and Notre Dame visiting, or pardon me, Notre Dame. Yes, Notre Dame visiting Virginia. I should get my left and right squared away there. But those 2 have massive implications on Clemson's doing. Clemson and Duke both control destiny in the ACC. More on that in a second as Healy looks through and finds Lovelace. Lovelace, driven ball back post. Big save made by Endema. Spent a lot of time talking about Herb at the other end. Not to be outdone by Joseph Endema.
And Davis came off huge there, but it all comes from the ball that gets played out wide in front of us onto the right-hand side, and an unbelievable ball into the box. But what a reactionary save.
Lovelace, who played that ball again in the starting 11, replacing Tyler Caton, who had that red card last game. So Lovelace thrust into duty, veteran on this Wolfpack group. One of the only 4 players who are in this program predating Mark Hubbard. He's really churned the roster now in his 2nd season at the helm. Lovelace, one of 4 players who predates him.
I think one of those things, Joe, watching Clemson over the last number of weeks, if you can get in behind, if you can get the service in behind those 2 center backs, you're going to create problems. And it's runners from midfield. Like I just saw 2 seconds ago, Tyke Healy, if he was positioning himself in between the 2 center backs when the 2 center backs were picking up the 2 forwards, and he's finding those little bits of space. But look at this, an unbelievable ball out wide, right? Oh, fantastic service in behind those center backs, and the keeper has to come off big.
And there's your first example. Both center backs are looking at Donovan Phillip, and who sneaks through right behind them? Conde. So with all the attention to Phillip, Remy Okolola on the far side can't lose sight of Conde in that manner.
100%, 100%. They said get in behind them, go and create problems, and that's the way that NC State can go and create, you know, chances and opportunities against this Clemson side.
Picked up by Santa Maria. Conde. Drop back for Riley Maloney on that left foot. If he can get the service in, it's dangerous. Maloney cutting his way through to the end line. Maloney wins a corner. 2nd of the night for NC State.
I love seeing the fullback getting so high up the field, having the confidence to go and get himself inside the 18-yard box. And it's interesting, you can see it. Clemson didn't want to touch him. Yes, they want to block the shots, etc. But they know any contact inside the 18-yard box, risk of giving away a penalty kick. So another opportunity now for NC State to go serve the box. It has to be a better service, and they cannot. If you go have a look at Clemson, this is dangerous right now. When we go and have a look down the field, we can see 3 defenders marking 3 forwards for Clemson. Leaving it 3-on-3, knowing that the pace that Clemson have, this could present a problem now for NC State.
Earn the most corners in Division I, NC State, and they usually make the most of it when given the opportunity. Maloney looking for Donovan Phillip, knocks it centrally, didn't get good contact on it. Here's where Gion's dangerous. Brentford Gion turning into space. Stepping up Duquesne, wanted Yoshizawa. Still on here, Jimenez rescues. Referee waves it off as Gian was begging for a foul call. Circling back to my point about the current standings and why the other games are relevant. Duke and Clemson both control destiny right now, which is odd to say. They're both 3-0-1. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head. They meet next week, so that's why they both technically control destiny. If either win out, they're the 1 seed. Virginia right now sitting in 2nd. If either Duke or Clemson stumble, they would be right there to step through and possibly take that #1 spot and the regular season title for themselves. So 3 big games going on right now around the ACC. And all still scoreless. Keep you updated as it goes. There's Ibrahim Condé, the #9, who had that chance moments ago for NC State, prompting that massive stop by Ndema. Condé, the 6th-year senior. He missed all 6 September games injured. Here he is, battling in the box, and Ndema slides in. And it is a goal kick.
Clemson are playing this very, very dangerous game. You can see both of them are pulling jerseys, right? But this is what it's going to be. Mark Hubbard is going to want those both Condé on one side, Phillip on the other. On top of those 2 centre-backs, running at them, getting in behind them, because again, not that they're slow, but they don't have a great lot of pace, and these 2 guys are dangerous. They're a handful, they're physical, they're a threat, and getting there, getting a shot off, working the goalkeeper, that is not what Mike Noonan wants to see from his 2 centre-backs.
This isn't what Mark Hubbard wants to see. I just mentioned that Ibrahim Condé missed all 6 September games, returned on October 1st against UNC Wilmington. 60-year player, spent the last 2 years at New Hampshire. He went to New Hampshire from Iowa Western Community College in 2023. Mark Hubbard brought him there. Unable to get him here to NC State last year. He spent his 5th season collegiately with New Hampshire. Now joined, once again, Mark Hubbard at NC State here in 25. Yet to score this season, but has been impactful playing alongside Ivan Phillip. It's an opportunity here, 15 minutes into this matchup, for both coaches to try and digest what they saw so far. What are you saying if you're in either of these huddles right now?
I think that when you look at it, you've got both sides. You can see this attacking moment. I think NC State are going to be the happier. As you can see, that shot gets off, and straight off the bat, he goes and grabs his right hamstring. I think that's definitely that's signs for trouble. But again, going back to your piece, who's happier? Who's happier right now? I think Mark Hubbard, in regards to the way that they're going about their business. He said he loves to press teams. He loves to get in their faces. Every time Clemson are on the ball, they've thrown numbers around Clemson. They're suffocating them. There's the one opportunity that when Ransford came over onto our near side, he switched the point of attack, the servers came in. That was probably only the major moment in play that the transition were able to go and get some damage. Most of it has been NC State. NC State have been getting into that final third, creating the chances. You know, there was a call for the penalty, the runs into the box, the save, the ball in behind, the save from the goalkeeper. All of these bits and pieces are pointing towards NC State, I believe, are on top. Now, the other piece that they have to be careful is not being caught in transition. Because, again, that corner that came from, all of a sudden, they left them 3 for 3 at the back, and only for the wrong option was picked, Clemson were in on goal. So, NC State need to be a little bit more disciplined, I would say, at the back, especially on set pieces, knowing that what could come about, and continue to do what they're doing from an offensive standpoint.
Aiden Payne will take the spot right now of Ibrahim Condé, the redshirt junior from Wilmington, has appeared in every game this season, has a goal and 3 assists to his name. It's one of those NC State originals that predates Mark Hubbard joining on the Wolfpack since 2022. We are enjoying what has been their best season since he joined. Gian tried to go through the wickets for Yoshizawa. Duquesne muscled off of it. Good battles we've seen physically. Lucas Feathers, the referee, letting them play. Healy is angling toward Phillip. Bounces for Gian here. Wise to it. Logan Erb just blasts it into the night sky. Almost fell perfectly for Phillip through the center backs there. Hook Lola. Beyond Nathan Richmond. Clemson has played some very interesting games this season. Scores like 4-3 a couple weeks ago against Wake Forest. It's been a lot more buttoned up for NC State. Well, did stay in. Tommy wins it back. He's brought down. Free kick on the way for the Wolfpack. Any set piece from about this part of the field in is an opportunity for them to score.
Especially when you got somebody like Donovan Phillip in the box. The prime target, and if he's not getting a clean header on the ball, putting it towards goal, he has to be looking for that knockdown.
Maloney comes all the way over, the left back to take this. Again, 6 assists on the season. He's been outstanding on set pieces. Anything closer in, Tate Healy will usually take it if they're going for a goal. If it's a service, it's usually Maloney. Maloney. Donovan Phillip will retrieve it. The battle there with Floki Stevenson. Physical play, expect that all night between those three guys. Floki Stevenson, Lucas Magnuson, the two Clemson center backs, and then Donovan Phillip, big striker for NC State, 14 goals on the season, nearly 50% of their goals. They've scored 29 as a team. He has 14 of them. And these long throws essentially turn into corners as well, the way they treat them. Isaac Heffis launches it looking for Phillip. Lola gets ahead to it, back out to Heffis. Healy, and cleared. Logan Erb out of the Houston Dynamo Academy, the goalkeeper, was part of a timeshare last year. He won that job down the stretch and has never looked back. Nation's leader in goals against average and second best in save percentage. Markovic. Exerting a lot of control on this now, the Wolfpack, in terms of possession, nearly halfway through this first half. Long for Lovelace. He won't get there. Women's sports take over the afternoon every Sunday on the ACC network. This week at noon, a top 20 field hockey matchup. Number 3 North Carolina hosts number 19 Louisville. Then 10th ranked SMU and 18th ranked Miami square off in volleyball. And then soccer, number 2 Notre Dame hosts SMU. All three also available on the all-new ESPN app. Here's Haley on that preferred left foot. Feeds Lovelace instead, looking back post for Phillip. And it's out for another corner. Third of this first half. Virginia leads in their matchup 1-0 over Notre Dame on an A.J. Smith goal. Game in Charlottesville. Virginia, if you were to take a look at the live table in the ACC, and this will change a lot tonight, they would jump on top over Stanford. Stanford plays tomorrow against Pitt. Both Clemson and Duke have a game in hand on both Virginia and Stanford. That's why Duke and Clemson control destinies. Maloney, better service this time. A lot of traffic in front. It's flicked wide by Markovic. They had Ndema pinned in. He had nowhere to go, the keeper. Did take a deflection, throw on the opposite side for the Wolfpack.
I think that was a very, very well worked corner. As you can see, pinned in the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper could not come and take it, and into a really, really, really dangerous area. And as you said, just cleared, and now might as well have another corner with this throw-in.
Another long throw, and it yields another corner. Fourth now in this first half for NC State. Clemson have gone quiet at the other end. Their only shot in this match came back in the 6th minute.
It's great pressure from NC State. As you can say, like I said, corner after corner after corner, set pieces. They're the aggressor in the game so far. They're the home team. They look at the fans are noisy. They're looking to put on a really good performance. And I'll tell you what, if they come and get a goal off this set piece, this whole place is going to erupt.
Maloney short for Lovelace. Lovelace whips it in, back post, off the post! Stayed out! And for a foul against Donovan Phillip in front.
I'm really, really happy that it did something different. That short corner. Lovelace has put 2 or 3 balls into the box from the other side of the field that were so dangerous. Playing that one short, playing the ball into the dangerous area. As you said, you know, it comes off the post, there's a foul. The referee sees it, calls it. But what a fantastic ball into the box. It's going to create some trouble for Clemson.
We talked about at the top of the broadcast, you and I, Ian, that this is a contrast of styles. Clemson want to go and play open. NC State want to be in control. And it was going to be that chess match, the way you put it. Halfway through this first half, everything is going NC State's way. They are playing this game exactly as they want to. It's been very few and far between any opportunity for the Tigers to get out and run.
No, and anything that has come, the 1 or 2 opportunities have just been on a counter.
Maybe here, though, Brentford Gian took a deflection, and well done on the hustle by Heffis to keep that in play, avoid the corner, out for a throw, take it quickly. Duquesne. Yoshizawa tried to take the handoff. NC State throw.
I love this defensive work. Every single time Clemson get on the ball, there's 1, 2, 3 people around them, right? They're absolutely swarming them, winning the ball back. As you said, there's dangerous moments that they are getting rid of based upon just their press and their pressure on the ball.
You mentioned this crowd here for NC State. They set a program record of 5,083 in attendance back in September against UNC, averaging their highest attendance in program history. Over the last couple of years, ever since Mark Hubbard took over, they've been among the best in terms of attendance in the conference. It's a whole different vibe around this NC State program. From a head coach that took New Hampshire to 7 straight NCAA tournaments before arriving here in North Carolina. Markovic. Heffis. We don't get an official possession stat, but if I had to ballpark it right now, Ian, it's probably 65-35 in favor of NC State. Completely controlling the ball right now.
100%. It's all NC State. As you said, those couple of moments in transition is really all that Clemson can bring to the table right now.
See Clemson again next week. Join us Friday for men's ACC soccer action as 7th-ranked Duke travel to Clemson to take on the Tigers. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on the ACC network and the all-new ESPN app. That's the big one. Depending on how results go tonight, as I've alluded to, it's Duke and Clemson right now who both control destiny for the #1 spot in the conference and for the regular season conference title. That could be decided next week. If they tie next week, then the next tiebreaker, should it come down to it, goes to goal differential, which favors Duke. But first tiebreaker head-to-head, which is why next week's matchup is massive in South Carolina. Duke, difficult road trip tonight up to Boston College, scoreless halfway through the first half. Good news, though, for Clemson at this point of the year. They don't have a midweek to contend with between now and that Duke game next week. They'll have the full week off. Caleb Tommy deflected, and Dama able to keep it in play, avoid conceding the corner. Already get 4 of those NC State in this half.
Straight away, I'm loving what NC State are doing with both of their fullbacks, Riley Maloney and Caleb Tommy. Like, get up, get the service into the box, have no fear of getting forward. And I think that's something that Mark Hubbard spoke about, his 2 fullbacks. He wants them to get forward and get service into the box, and we've seen it so far tonight.
It's been interesting for Clemson. A little bit of a new system tonight because of all the attention to Donovan Phillip. If you look at it right now, it almost looks like they're in a back three the way Matthias Live has dropped in with the two center backs, Floki Stevenson and Lucas Magnuson. It's not how they typically play it, but when you're going up against a striker that has 14 goals and might win the Mac Herman this year, you got to tweak your game plan a little bit.
Yeah, I think with Condi going off as well, maybe has given them a little bit more of a luxury. Not saying that Payne isn't a great replacement, but you put Condi beside Phillip and they're so dangerous. So and again, big physical presence. But for me, I think the game changer here tonight for NC State can be Tyke Healy. Look at the space that he's creating in front of those two centre backs. He's drifting into these pockets of space. All they have to do is find his feet. He'll be able to slip his two forwards in, or get on the ball, drive himself, and get the opportunity to go and hit a shot on frame.
He had 6 goals and 6 assists last year, Tyke Healy. I'll give it away here. Richmond. The goal scoring's gone away for Tyke Healy this year, but has the 6 assists again. He hasn't needed to do the goal scoring.
Right, I love it.
It's been everybody else.
Right, I love it about him. Like, even again, look, little pockets of space. And the thing is, when we speak to Clemson before the game, Mike, they're in a 4-1-3-1. Yeah, that's to negate the two forwards up top. But also that one should know where Healy is at all times. Healy is getting that pockets of space that they don't even know. They're not even looking over their shoulder to see where he is. And that's why I think he could be a game changer. Just get him on the ball, break that line, get it into his feet, or let him be that late runner into the box. He could be something special here tonight.
That's how it was from the start, to your point. It looks like a true back three now for Clemson, with Live anchoring it between Magnuson and Stevenson. Matthias Live hasn't started or played much for Clemson, but he's well respected in the program. The junior making his 2nd start this season, only 4 appearances last year. He was the scout team player of the year last year, and part of what makes Clemson so good year in, year out is that scout team you're going up against. Depending on who your opponent is in the week, you might have a tougher time going up against that scout team with the depth they have, and he was their scout team player of the year in 24.
Rosters like that are unbelievable to have in training. As you said, you can mimic and mime, you can have the opposition to a T the way they're going to play against you, and you're able to work on it day in, day out.
Lazy trip from Richmond, bringing down Maloney. Long ball played over the top by Kweku Ajabang, freshman from Ghana. Came out of Cedar Stars Academy, St. Benedict's Prep in high school in New Jersey. Same academy, same high school as Rensford Gian. Those two have a long-standing relationship, played together there. Now playing together here.
Going back to your change in formation, looking at Clemson right now in the back three, maybe one of the reasons for that is because they're looking for the 2 wing backs.
Now can't do that, can't give the ball away to Rensford Gian. Cuts inside, Gian lays it off, deflecting around, pinball in front of the bar. Fortune favored Clemson in that build-up with the giveaway and the deflections, but Richmond puts it off the bar.
This is it's uncharacteristic of the center backs to be able to give a ball away like that, but do not give it away to Rensford Gian. And as you said, that ends up into the back of the net. You're looking at each other going, yeah, that's on me. Sorry, that's my mistake. But you're a goal down against a team like Clemson that you do not want to go a goal down against. But going back to that piece, you're looking at, we see a definite back three right now in front of us. Reason being is because you're looking at Riley Maloney and you're looking at Caleb Tommy. All they want to do is, when the opportunity is on, is to go and get forward. So to negate those 2 full-backs getting forward, dropping those players in as wing backs per se, is probably trying to stop those services, because again, that's where NC State have been so successful, getting that ball out wide, services into the box. How can Clemson stop them? I think that's why putting them into a 5.
Another giveaway there from the center backs. Yoshizawa couldn't connect though with Gian. Keep an eye on that. Uncharacteristically sloppy on the back line for NC State. Now it's Tyke Healy on his preferred left foot, cuts it back. Healy into the area, chips it through. With these giveaways that we've seen on the back line for NC State, however many players there are in Division I soccer, that's the list of players you'd rather give the ball away to than Rensford Gian. That is the last person you want to give the ball away to in space.
100% in the tight little area like that. And as you said, off the crossbar, out of nothing, turning the ball over, quick feet, knocks the ball to the top of the 18-yard box, and they hit the crossbar. Something as minuscule as that, and you're 1-0 down.
First change we're seeing now on the Clemson side. Wahaba Musa makes his return. Last game missed due to coach's decision. The game prior against Wake Forest, he missed due to a red card that he picked up against Cal. Good to see Musa back out there. There was a question of how long he could go in this game, so that's why he doesn't start. He comes in off the bench for the last 14 minutes of this half. All freshman team last year. and has 5 goals and 8 appearances this year. Clean from the center backs this time for NC State. Santa Maria just beyond the reach of a sliding Riley Maloney. Dangerous tackle in the middle of the field. When we see our first card of the game here, Lucas Feather stopping the clock, reaching for the pocket. And it is the first yellow of the night. Carlos Santa Maria picks it up.
And you might look at that, and I think in the area, maybe dangerous, but when that ball gets picked off on that turnover, it's 7v4 in favor of Clemson. So people, you might look at that and go, it's a smart foul, maybe in a more of in a dangerous area, but I would rather that than going 7v4 and the ball ended up in the back of my net.
Okunlola, the one brought down, got it well on the intercept and started to carry. Not the best spot necessarily for a service here for Clemson. A little bit too centrally located. See if they can get one of the big center backs, Stevenson or Magnuson, and knock it back across frame on that initial header down.
I'd like to see them go short here. Just go short, change the angle of the approach, and a better serve and an angle into the box.
Gian clips it up. Wasteful on the end of the
It's
Tigers.
too direct, right? One of those, the players either side just, hey, take a run to the left, move to the right, feed the ball, and just serve it at a different angle. Give yourself an opportunity, because all that was going to happen there with too much on it, being too straight, was going right into Logan Erb, and that's going to be the easiest thing he's probably done all night.
Over a dozen minutes remaining here in this first half. Glad to have you with us this evening on the ACC Network alongside U.S. Soccer coach Ian Carey. I'm Joe Malfa. Beautiful evening at Dale Soccer Stadium in Raleigh. 10th ranked NC State trying to climb up the ACC standings. An unranked Clemson team that controls destiny for the regular season ACC title. Bit of an anomaly that they're unranked. Last time they were unranked in the coaches poll, 2023. Oh, by the way, after that they went on and won the national championship. And it also depends which poll you look at. If you look at the top drawer soccer poll, this is actually number 5 NC State rather than number 10 against number 9 Clemson rather than unranked Clemson. So if you look at that poll, we've got a top 10 matchup for you here tonight. And there are some that put a little more credence into that top drawer soccer poll as of late. Battle in the midfield, Lovelace, a little too handsy, commits the foul against Ajabang.
Ajabang does really well there. He was able to use his center of gravity, go and get the ball at his feet, shadow play, get rid of, and all of a sudden, if you pull the jersey, it's going to be a foul. But very, very smart, way to protect the ball.
Our Week 7 ACC Network Saturday football lineup, noon Eastern, command center presentation of Pitt and number 25 Florida State. 4 different camera angles and rear-time player stats and team stats, and it's 13th-ranked Georgia Tech hosting Virginia Tech. We cap the night with Clemson and Boston College at 7:30 Eastern. All 3 games also available on the all-new ESPN app, so you can watch from anywhere. Donovan Phillip quiet so far. He's brought down. This is prime real estate for a set piece now for NC State. 11 to go in this first half.
I think when you see that original ball, what I like what NC State have done right now is knowing that Clemson got into the back 3, can they find a pocket of space out wide and isolate a centre back? And that's just what Phillip did. He isolated one of the centre back with a ball over the top, had to go hard on him, committed the foul, and now gives NC State an opportunity to serve the box.
Captain goalkeeper Joseph Endema has made one outstanding save already. Will he be called upon again? Riley Maloney stands on the free kick. Gaggle of players right at the edge of that 6. Donovan Phillip, number 7, the most dangerous. Maloney blasting it to Endema. Almost surprised him with a go-ahead goal. Strong punch away from the senior keeper. Healy clips it back post, the header across frame, and it stays wide. The supporters, the Red Terrors behind the goal, thought that was the moment.
and a much better serve into the box. Again, that's on purpose. He sees the goalkeeper's near post. And can I go and get it? Can I go and make him work? He does. He makes a fantastic save, gets his feet over, and then obviously Healy putting the ball back into the box comes to nothing.
Haven't gotten a lot of Donovan Phillip involved, but he almost wins it here on a careless touch from Matthias Leib. Can change at a moment's notice, though, for Donovan Phillip. Again, 14 goals this season, leads Division 1. Now the other way, Arthur Duquesne. It's well defended by Calum Tommy. Lucas Feathers, the referee, brought the whistle to the mouth. He thought about it. Instead, deemed it clean. Now Lovelace for Santa Maria. McLean bends it ahead for Phillip. This is where he's dangerous. Donovan Phillip goes for a goal. Blasted over the bar. He will shoot from anywhere.
And that all started back from Calum Tommy in at the right back position. They were able to switch the point so well. The outside of the foot pass, glorious pass. And we've seen Donovan Phillip scoring from these angles this year.
They went quick on that goal kick, Clemson. Starting to heat up a bit and open up a bit in the closing moments of this first half. This is more the tempo Clemson would like to see the game played at. For about the first 30 minutes, it was played at the tempo that NC State would rather see. Oh, this open tempo can favor NC State as well. Again, they don't typically play it, but they have the horses for it. They have 3 shots in the last 2 minutes, NC State. They had 3 shots in the first 34 minutes, so they can go at tempo as well. Payne came on for the injured Ibrahim Condé. Hope to see him again at some point. Condé would be a big loss if he can't continue on for NC State. Again, missed the whole month of September, Condé. Might be cautious. McLean, Lovelace. Cleared by Musa, who's come over to his more natural left side now, Wahabu Musa. When he first subbed on, he was over on the right. Yoshizawa's gone that way. Musa's come left. Maloney. Markovic. Freshman defender last year, Markovic, to his center back partner Heffis, and now to Calum Tommy. Lovelace ahead toward Payne. Those 3 connecting there on this right side. Tommy, Lovelace, and Payne. Those are 3 of the 4 guys in this program that predate Mark Hubbard. Again, amid all the roster churn, those have been 3 of the 4 constants. Okunlola. Clipped in toward Musa, and it out to Duquesne. Heavy touch from Duquesne, recovers well. Runs for Gian. Gian, Yoshizawa, blocked.
Again, bodies on the line for NC State. What I think NC State, look at that Clemson. Clemson are allowing NC State just to go keep the ball. And it nearly looks like, hey, we want a breather. We've been high pressed for the first 30-odd minutes, and now, hey, just keep the ball in your half, knock it around. We're okay with that. Allowing them to get a breather, get organized, and then when they win the ball, how quickly they are in transition. So you're seeing more possession around the back line with NC State, allowing the build, and then looking for that ball that they're either trying to play up the channel to get the wide back or the wide forward spinning off, or just knocking the ball into Donovan Phillip and looking for the knockback underneath him.
Swaps in the midfield there for NC State. Yoshizawa goes for a goal over the bar, threatening Logan Erb. It's their 5th shot of the night. They still don't have a shot on target, though. Have not officially tested Logan Erb.
It's been an easy night so far for him. And just say, you don't want him to cut in onto his left-hand side. You can see tired bodies now, not tracking the runner, not putting your body on the line, because, again, decent when he's cutting in onto his left foot. But again, over the crossbar, didn't really have anything for Logan Erb to do in goal.
Those 2 midfield changes, just housekeeping here for NC State. Thomas Lamai came on for Drew Lovelace and Caden Tolentino Came on for Justin McLean. We thought Tolentino might start tonight in the absence of Tyler Caton with the red card last game. Instead, they go with Drew Lovelace, the veteran. Played well in this game so far. Some capable replacements. The depth on this NC State team is terrific as well. With Lamai and Tolentino, there's a number of teams around the country they would start on. Hubbard comfortable starting them here if he had to as well. Here's Lamai. Fifth year from France, transferred over this year from St. John's, Thomas Lamai. Goal and 3 assists last year, second team all Big East. Jabang on that tackle there. Unsung hero at times for Clemson. That's what you want out of your defensive midfielder. Won't get the plaudits, won't pick up the stats, but he does a lot of that. And on the long throw, Isaac Heffis getting as much space as he can. Heffis toward that front post, bounces once, still loose. Had it not clear, Healy gets it. That's for Gian. Out to Tolentino. Slow to get up in the boxes, Lucas Magnuson. Hobbling to the edge of the area. Pardon me, that's Stevenson. And he gets the header away. Healy on the volley. And it's a chance now to catch their breath for Clemson. They compromise Floki Stevenson. Rather, Lucas Magnuson still hobbling. Had to get that header away in front of Donovan Phillip. It's an Icelandic tandem at center back for Clemson. Lucas Magnuson, the sophomore. Floki Stevenson, the sophomore transfer from Virginia Tech. Never teammates in Iceland, but they did play against each other, so they do know each other from their pasts. They've formed a good bond and chemistry this season.
Yeah, I think coming from a country with 350,000 people like Iceland, I'm sure they have crossed paths 1 or 2 times before they came over to Clemson. Yeah, no doubt. Listen, the two of them man mountains, right? And they have sophomores, right? And they're right now they've been dealing with Phillip, dealing with Condi, dealing with Payne coming on. You don't want to lose either of those centre backs right now, Clemson.
They've had help tonight with this shifted to a back 3. There's Floki Stevenson. He's on the left side of this back 3. Magnuson on the right. Matthias Live dropping in between them as the anchor. Under 3 to play in this first half, still scoreless. 12 combined shots, 7-5 in NC State's favor. And Phillip dispossessed. Splits it through. Tay Healy, saved by Ndema. He can do that, Markovic, off the back line. We haven't seen it a lot tonight, but that line-breaking pass, good distributor on that back line.
I love that. Great ball into Ty Healy and onto his favorite left foot and made the goalkeeper work.
This crowd getting more into it now, late stage of this first half. Moments ago, that was the first time we heard that Wolfpack call and response from those in attendance. Team feeding off of it. And now another chance coming from the corner. It's their 5th now. They want to go quickly here.
Really uncharacteristic, really uncharacteristic at Clemson.
Tolentino went quickly, floats it in, the header for Lamai, steers it wrong.
You can see that Clemson now, they're shouting at each other, they're calling each other out on the field. Was that your man? Was it my man? Stop making sloppy mistakes. But it's all coming from, again, the initial tackle out here is from the willingness to go put your body on the line. The willingness to go and press somebody. The willingness to, that's why you're making a mistake, because the press is coming. So the more NC State are able to do that, the more pressure they go and put on Clemson, the more mistakes they make, the more opportunities they're going to produce for themselves.
Under a minute in this first half. Space for Duquesne. Musa to his left. Wahabu Musa. Cutting in, Musa curling it, left it wide. And maybe it's me, partner, by the way, because I was here one other time this season. It was for that NC State UNC game. That also finished 0-0. So I'm through 3 halves here, nearly scoreless. So maybe it's me.
I hope we get some goals because, again, the crowd will love it. NC State are not going to want to give up. But, yeah, this... Right now, if you're looking at it, I think NC State have been the better side so far in this first half, produced the better opportunities and, big save from the goalkeeper to keep it at 0-0. But, I'd say there'll be some conversations in the locker room at halftime.
It has been a clash of the Titans here so far this evening. NC State, number 10 in the country. At one point, the Dave of the evening came early on to keep it scoreless. And away we go in half number 2. Clemson in the orange left to right. NC State in the white from right to left with Ian Carey. Joe Malfa, happy to have you with us on the ACC network.
Straight away, the first thing I was interested in seeing where Clemson going to stay in that 3-back, and it does look like they have. They've the 3 same centre backs with the 2 wing backs that will tuck in either side, depending on what side the ball's coming down.
Good step from Riley Maloney. Thomas Lamai, who stays in to begin half number 2, subbed on late in the first half. Ahead to Donovan Phillip. Markovic, the players wearing the armband for NC State. Lamai, just beyond Ajabong. Back and forth they go. Donovan Phillip goes for goal. Blocked away, trickling toward a corner and out for one.
You could see that coming from the first couple of minutes when Lamoy came over here to our left-hand side to go and isolate himself. But again, the interaction and the link play between Donovan Phillip and Healy gets Phillip with the shot off. But these two are so dangerous playing off each other. He said Healy is that player, that productive midfielder that loves to link with everybody, and very, very unlucky. Takes a little nick and goes out for the corner.
Corner of this second half for NC State. Maloney never had a chance. Nathan Richmond for Misei Yoshizawa. Change to note on the Clemson side to begin this second half. First time we're seeing Frankie DeFrancesco on the other side for NC State. He's into the match. Drew Lovelace for Aiden Payne. The only new face that we're seeing to begin this second half from either side is DeFrancesco, who has started 7 games this year for NC State. Yet to score, transfer from High Point. Duquesne. Second half, and it's tightened up from the last few minutes of the first half. Starting to get stretched between these two sides. NC State now tightening it back up to the way things were the first 30-odd minutes of that first half. Caleb Tommy driving, give and go with DeFrancesco.
Clemson definitely a little bit more knitted together when you're looking at that back 5, and then that back 5 with that midfielder sitting in front of them. They're not giving away those lanes for those passes to slip a ball into Donovan Phillip. that has to be the conversation at halftime. Hey, we've got to be tidy. We've got to tidy things up in there and not give the ball into the big man, because you know what he can do.
Isaac Heffis ready for another long throw. Heffis needs that flick on, gets it from Markovic. He's loose. And on the volley, always rising from Riley Maloney. That was the first time that one of the long throws has actually done what it was supposed to do. Get that initial flick on and then cause chaos. Yeah,
every ball they've played in up until this didn't result in something positive for NC State. He said the flick on was great. Somebody went for the second ball, and Riley Maloney, that's a very difficult shot under pressure, right? He's going to want that one back. Maybe take a touch when the defender is going to jump into him. But as you said, the first throw-in, that came something positive for NC State.
Oh, he had visions of glory there. He took a couple step wind up into that. He was ready to go, Riley Maloney.
Now, if it went in the top corner, now he's going to be the most famous kid here at NC State this weekend. But no, he's definitely going to want that one back. And when you slow it down and watch it back in film, you'd be like, I should have had maybe a different option.
Gian through for Musa. Wahabu Musa now pushes it wide. That was something we didn't see in that first half. The quick transition, won by Ajibang, found Ransford Gian, got it to Musa. Quick.
No, and you see the giveaway in midfield, and we spoke about in the intro how quickly they are. And as you said, we haven't seen it. We've glimpses of it, but not the full, a combination, getting themselves in behind and getting a shot off on goal. First time we've seen it early on in the second half.
Yet to record a shot on target, Clemson, 7 shots. Have to be efficient with your opportunities against this NC State side. Again, 1,040 minutes played now this season for NC State. They've allowed 2 goals, and neither of those came in the second half. They're locked down in the second halves of games. Phillip hustling to the end line, beats his man, keeps it in play. Phillip blocked back to him. Couldn't handle it in the end with all the bodies converging.
And this is what we spoke about, getting Donovan Phillip isolated in those 1v1s out wide with a centre back, being able to go and beat him, and unfortunately the ball didn't get to where he wanted it to get, and it would have been an easy tap in for NC State. But great work from Phillip.
Can Heffis get it to the 6 from here? This is the furthest back he's been for one of these long throws. Oh, we're about to find out. Yes, he can. Edge of the 6 flicked on. Loose there for Markovic. Traffic in front. It spills over the line. Wolfpack lead. DeFrancesco claims it.
I think when you said it, will it reach from that distance to long throw into the top of the 6-yard box? And hey, that's 2 throw-ins in a row that has been positive for NC State. They were very unlucky with the first one, but Riley Maloney skying the ball over the crossbar. But when it mattered, we look at it now, the distance he recovered with his throw-in. Ball flicked on. There's a scramble inside the 6-yard box, and everybody wants to get the foot, and eventually gets in the back of the net. NC State 1-0 up. We've got a game in our hands.
53rd minute. Frankie DeFrancesco with his first for NC State. Mentioned him right out of halftime that he was the only new insertion for either side out of the break. First time we're seeing him tonight, and he leaves his mark 8 minutes in. Let's Mark Hubbard look like a genius for pushing that button. And his first for the Wolfpack is a big one. And there's no need to go to the monitor after the referees briefly held the kick. It is 1-0 NC State. For Clemson to earn a point out of this now, they have to do something that hasn't been done against the Wolfpack this year. That is score a second half goal. Ransford Gian can make that happen. Cutting in, Ransford Gian pulls it wide. Hadn't registered a shot since the 23rd minute until that point.
I think if we rewind back to my comments to Mark Hubbard at halftime when they asked him, hey, how's DeFrancesco? I bet he turned around and said, yeah, he's good, guys. So, hey, what a great goal. First goal to score for Clemson. Genius decision by a coach, starting him in the second half, and he said everything worked out. Ball ends up in the back of the net. He said, game on here tonight.
You keeping score at home, no assist given off of that goal. chaos in front, last off a Clemson player. DeFrancesco from Wayne, New Jersey, went to DePaul Catholic High School, first team All New Jersey in all 4 seasons there.
NC State have to keep this pressure, have to keep the pressure the way that they started the second half. Not allow Clemson to get back into the game, because as you see, they've already had one opportunity.
A second now, and another. First time that Logan Urban's had to make a save tonight. First shot on target for the Tigers.
You can't be ill-disciplined. You can't be ill-disciplined at the back. As you said, you've gone a goal up. All of a sudden, you're not winning that header. Stick your head on the ball. Don't try and take it down your chest and go and try and get a clearance. Again, a mistimed tackle, and ends up again. Probably the best save Logan Urban has made tonight.
Has to be. It's the only one he's made. The best save of the night actually came from the crossbar earlier in the game on that volley from Nathan Richmond in the early going. So Logan Urban finally rivals the crossbar.
If I'm a goalkeeper, I'm claiming a touch onto the crossbar. That was my second save tonight. But again, Mark Hubbard's not going to want Clemson to get any breather on this, right? They want to be after them straight from that tip-off, and he will be disappointed that Clemson straight off the bat got 2 opportunities on goal.
This is a Wolfpack defensively, as we've alluded to throughout the night, that is not only good, they are historic potentially. So far, coming into the night, a 0.5 goals against average. In the modern era of the ACC, going back to 2013 when the likes of Pitt and Syracuse and Louisville joined the conference, the best mark was sub .4. It was back, given away here. It was a UNC team a few years ago that did it. NC State could get there, but they'd have to allow just 1 goal the rest of the season tonight and 3 more games after that. But it's historically good. Chance now for the Tigers barreling through on that left side. Kane, it's a goal kick.
Again, we're sort of seeing a little bit of impatience with NC State, right? They go 1 goal up, and then they think they can start playing these little worldy passes into the midfield that they weren't playing in the first half. Yes, they were combining through their midfield to get out, but those World Cup passes were getting picked off, and it's led to 3 opportunities now for Clemson.
Set long by Logan Urban. Lamai. Have to give credit though to Duke actually as well. If NC State continue on and don't give up a goal the rest of the season, they won't even set that goals against mark. Duke could actually do it if they're clean the rest of the season. They've been equally good defensively. They've only given up 1 goal in ACC play. NC State 2. In any event, historically the last dozen years, one of the top defenses here, NC State. Will be tested though. Clemson have scored 12 second half goals this season. Here's Phillip. Back to Healy. Take Healy just scorches beyond the post. It took a deflection out for a corner.
Honestly, the combination play from NC State right now. The ball into Phillip. When he holds onto this ball, he knows exactly where to play it. He knows that Healy's going to be underneath him. And Healy puts it onto his favorite left foot. And again, takes the deflection and out for another corner.
7th corner. Is it lucky number 7 for NC State? They've already sort of scored on one of these. The long throws that they treat like corners. That's how they got their goal a short while ago, right in front of the Red Terrors, who aren't currently spelling terrors correctly. The O came down and the F took his spot. Referee stopping it here to have a word. Another good crowd here tonight at Dale Soccer Stadium, and it's been a historic season for NC State in terms of that attendance. Red Terrors are getting on these Tiger defenders right now. The Teffers.
I love this atmosphere. This is unbelievable. And the way they move from one goal to the next and make it nice and loud behind the goalkeeper, the opposing goalkeeper. They're a handful on their own.
And they celebrate another one, touchdown by Markovic and cleared. And he's still in on that far side, blazing speed from Caleb Tommy. He's pulled down. Officials deem it clean. NC State bench did not agree, but they win it back through Healy. Haley wide, looking for Tommy. Maloney wins it back. He's over on that side because of the corner that was taken. They haven't gotten back into shape yet, NC State.
And again, it shows you how dangerous NC State are when they get their fullbacks forward. The pace and the speed of Tommy getting down that line, fantastic. Unfortunately, just not getting the service into the box.
This is the impact that Mark Hubbard has had. When you've got a good team, you want to come see that team. Last year made the tournament. This year ranked #1 for the first time in program history. Last 2 seasons, they're top 3 in average attendance. They set their high water mark all time. Not just this year, all time. They had 5,083 against UNC a few weeks ago and break 2,000 again tonight here in Raleigh. It's a special thing they've got brewing. Head coach Mark Hubbard has completely revitalized this program.
When you're getting your team to NCAA tournaments and you're doing well, scoring goals, entertaining the fans, you're going to bring in a huge crowd. And the student population here have to be loving the product that they're seeing on the field.
They've always sort of been the third wheel in this triangle to Duke and UNC. Not this year.
There's a belief in this group. You know, they're relentless. The pressure that put teams under. It's really good to watch.
Could be on the brink now, NC State, of doing something they haven't done often, and they haven't done since 2017. That's beat Clemson. Phillip stumbles. Healy almost got it. Ever since Mike Noonan took the helm for Clemson in 2010, coming into tonight, these programs have met 15 times. 13 Clemson wins, 1 NC State win, 1 draw. But he's never faced a Mark Hubbard-led NC State team. If there's ever a time to catch Clemson under Mike Noonan, it's when you have them in your building. It's got a pretty good road winning percentage, but it's down from their home winning percentage. At home under Mike Noonan, they have a .739 winning percentage. It's .544 on the road, so almost 20 percentage points shaved off. It's typical. It's always obviously more difficult to go on the road, but it is a big drop-off, home versus road, those splits for Clemson. So maybe vulnerable here tonight. NC State taking advantage. Can they find a second goal now? Ahead toward Phillip, who won't get there ahead of Live.
And again, this is relentless pressure on positive soccer from NC State. Every time they're getting on the ball now, they're finding those little through passes. They're putting Phillips in. They're getting Healy underneath. The combination play has been fantastic. It's just missing that final little edge in and around the 18-yard box.
Get your ACC football Saturday started right here on the ACC network with the ACC Huddle team. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. live from Atlanta for the Virginia Tech-Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech comes into that ranked number 13. That's also available on the new ESPN app. We'll see a reverse change to what we saw in the first half. Wahabu Musa comes off. Issei Yoshizawa comes on. So that is the night for Wahabu Musa. Won't be able to come back into this one now. Going to monitor his minutes in this one. Ultimately went a little over 30 tonight. Officially 31 minutes.
And you can see it. You can see that he's not where he needs to be for Clemson. Like the productivity from Zawa when he in the first half was when he cut in on his left foot, gets the shot off just over the crossbar. He gives that little bit more. But Musa, when he's a fully fit player and when he's out running on all cylinders, he's going to be a threat. And he's going to be dangerous in the SEC and hopefully for Clemson postseason. He
was held out last game, coach's decision. The game before that against Wake Forest, he served a suspension for a red card he picked up late in the game against Cal. Herb clears. And Phillip brought down. This is where Donovan Phillip could be at his most dangerous, as Clemson have to start looking forward to find that goal. All it takes is one moment for that big man there.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for it. They're going to have to find a way, and they're going to have to step into him more and not allow him to get on the ball. If they do, you know, it's either he spins off, because when he gets so close to them, he can feel them, he's that size, he can spin off them and get himself in on goal, or get the assist for somebody else. But yeah, it's going to come to that time that Clemson are going to push for the goal. They're going to have to throw numbers forward, and it's going to expose them potentially at the back.
Maloney. Diving header away. The offside flag came up late. Referee called it back. Clemson had lost possession.
But when you go and look at the servers into the box, balls like that for those two center backs and Magnuson and Stevenson, etc., they're going to eat those balls up all day long, right? You've seen the success at NC State. Get the ball out wide, get your two full backs down the channel and get the serve in behind the back line. That's where NC State are dangerous. Get Maloney forward, get Tommy forward, get those really deadly balls in behind that back line. Because if you don't touch it as a forward, the defender gets a touch in it, and you're relying on your goalkeeper to make a wonder save. That's what NC State, they're doing all the really good things, but getting those fullbacks forward now is going to give them another dimension, like what we saw in the first half.
For NC State at the moment, this could be a big-time victory in terms of their climb up the ACC standings. It would bring them up to 8 points. Be good enough to have them in a tie with SMU for 5th place, though SMU would have a game in hand. You want to end up top 4. Only number 1 gets a bye in the tournament. Everybody else has to play the opening round. Top 8 teams would host the game in that opening round. But if you end up top 4, just mathematically speaking, you know that if you win your first round game, you're also going to host a quarter. So that 4 line is always the cutoff. NC State chasing that. It's going to be a big 3 points in that quest. Healy lost it. The other side of that conversation, Clemson came in tonight knowing if they won out, they would be the 1 seed. That is no longer the case. The outcome no longer in their hands. Yoshizawa bending it ahead to Gian. And an opportunity it was, so far at least for Clemson. If they would have come in here and picked up a victory tonight, the team they were directly competing against for that top spot in terms of who controlled was Duke, and Duke's still stumbling at the moment against Boston College. It's 0-0 near the hour mark. They've been playing up a man for the better part of a half hour. It's always difficult to go up to Boston College and play on the road. Teams usually learn that the hard way. Maloney. After tonight, NC State visits a Notre Dame team that's receiving votes. They host a 23rd ranked UNC Greensboro. Then they visit Duke and host Syracuse to round out the season. Difficult road ahead for NC State. Clemson, as we've talked about, hosts Duke next week here on the ACC network. And it's hosting UNC Wilmington, visiting Virginia, and hosting Virginia Tech. Roads ahead for both these programs. I feel like the phrase fork in the road gets tossed around a lot for some of these matchups. Feels like every game is that in the ACC this year. This was maybe the first of a series of those in this final 3-week stretch.
Every game means everything now, right? And then good competitive games, every single one. You said we watched that Virginia and NC State on Sunday night, and the competitiveness in that. There was cards flying everywhere for tackles going in, etc. But the competitive side of that game, it was through the roof. But every game means everything. Every game means everything, regardless if you're picked going to Stanford for tomorrow night, sitting bottom right now, another 3 points puts you on 4 for Pittsburgh. All of a sudden, you get a little bit of more credibility, pushes you up the table a little bit. So every single game matters. And we talk about the tournament. You know, you don't want to be the last team to qualify, the last team to get into the tournament, because obviously you're going to be on the road more. There's going to be more travel, wear and tear on your body. And you want to go a deep run in the NCAA tournament. And being that last team in, all that wear and tear, it all adds up as the season goes on.
State last year lost to the eventual runners-up Marshall. Made it to the third round of the NCAA tournament.
If I'm Mark Hubbard now, I'm looking for a little bit of an injection into my midfield. A little bit more energy into my midfield so I can make sure I can close out this game, because you're sort of letting, just some tired passes out there when you're trying to combine through that midfield. And if you can navigate through the next 21 minutes without giving away a sloppy pass, etc., you're going to get that victory that you're craving for right now to change the game, right?
Just about to enter the final 20 minutes of this match. That has been Clemson territory. 8 goals in the final 20 minutes of matches this season. They are not done until that final whistle goes. You'd love the insurance if you could get it if you're NC State. Take a 2-0 lead, and then here's your situation. You've got however many minutes left with a 2-goal lead as a team who has only given up 2 goals all season. And you dare Clemson to go score 2 on you.
It is just that whole adage 2-0 is such a horrible score.
Here's a look at the current results right now. If they hold, what it does to the standings. NC State would be knocking on the door of the top 4. Virginia, with their 1-0 lead on Notre Dame, would go top of the conference. Stanford plays tomorrow. They could be leapfrogging the rest of the way. And again, next week it's 3rd Duke against 4th Clemson. There's one thing that I am certain of, Ian. What we just showed you will not be the official seeding when it comes time for the tournament. There is no way
no chance.
It stays as is over these next few weeks.
Yeah, no chance. You're gonna see teams jumping over each other every which way, and when it comes to the end, yeah, like you especially tonight, NC State get this victory, jump themselves up the table, right? They go above your North Carolinas of the world, etc. Again, I go back to this Pitt and Stanford. Pitt win, put them on 4. All of a sudden, they're creeping into the bottom end of it, right? And every game they've got to play the rest of the year count. So we speak about every game counts, and this is the league. This is the ACC. This is how good it is. This is the strength of every single team within it.
Yeah, this is the only conference in the country where you could have, coming into the night, the 9th place team be the 10th ranked team in the country.
Correct. Again, looking at it last week, knowing that we were doing this game, looking at where NC State were sitting in the rankings, and then looking where they were on that league table, you're there to go, whoa, how upside down is this? But again, there's such good quality in the league, and as I said, I've watched Stanford a couple of times this year, and for me, they were fantastic. Virginia tonight scoring that goal. Virginia against Wake, fantastic. So there's every single team is good in this league, regardless.
Here's Rensford Gian trying to make something happen here for the Tigers. Gian had it blocked. They've kept him bottled up tonight, NC State, in a way that no team has so far this season. Coming into the night, Rensford Gian, the only player in Division I that was top 10 in both goals and assists. He was tied for 8th in goals, tied for 5th in assists. Nice quick give and go. It just runs beyond Ajabang. Now Donovan Phillip. Will we see Clemson shift the formation at some point?
They have to.
They've gone into this back 3 to neutralize Donovan Phillip, but as we approach a quarter of an hour remaining, see if you can throw caution to the wind and go get something.
Yeah, they have to. As you can see, they've pushed their 2 wing backs very, very, very high in possession. Now, if they get caught out, obviously it's going to be a counter coming back, because again, it's 2v3. You have Healy coming up underneath them. It becomes a 3v3. They can become really, really, really dangerous.
Magnuson stumbled, still gets it through now. Yoshizawa, good step defensively from Markovic. Stays with Clemson. Phillip has gone down here for NC State.
I think he needs a break, and it needs a drink. Probably cramping up with the amount of work. He's covered every blade of grass. Like, you look at where he's gone down right now. This guy has came all the way back. His defensive work rate, as well as his work rate in the positive side of the game, is through the roof.
The all-new ACC PM, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 7 Eastern, then Friday a 2-hour football-focused special edition from 5 to 7 Eastern, hosted by Kelsey Riggs Cup, right here on the ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Phillip going down here gives both coaches a chance to relay some new instructions to their groups. They hope it's just a cramp for Phillip and he can come right back out there. You'd hate to take him off now and end his night.
There's definitely going to be a change of formation with Clemson. We're looking across when the camera was on Mike Noonan, you could see him with the fingers out. He's telling them, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to go about him. He's, the guy has got so much experience. He no doubt has identified there's areas there that we can exploit. Like, as you said, Ransford Guian has not shown us the productivity that we have seen all season long. He's been kicked up and down the field every time there's been pressure on him. And do you know what? I'm so, like, when you look at a player like that, he just gets up, brushes it off, looks for the next ball to be played to him. Absolute class. And from a sophomore, the guy's got a huge career ahead of him.
Can he be the difference maker they need him to be, though, now with 18 minutes to play? Phillip still getting stretched out. Looked like they gave him one of those pickle juice shots, so hope it's just a cramp, as you alluded to, possibly there, Ian. You go pickle juice or mustard packets? Those are the two go-tos.
You know, I never heard the mustard packet thing until I came to America. It was always like, you know, the pickle juice type thing. Or you know, when we were, well, show my age now, some salt and water. You know what I mean? It was the basics, you know. But the way performance science has changed today, yeah. There's something for everything.
Yeah, back for you when they used to track 90 minutes on a sundial as well.
Oh yeah, we didn't listen. I'm telling you, we did not go to bed until the street lamps went off and it was time to go inside. So yeah, good old black and white Ireland.
Phillip heading over to the sideline. He's not being subbed off here. The sub coming for NC State. We'll see Justin McLean come back out there for Drew Lovelace. So Drew Lovelace's night will be done. If they were to sub off Phillip again here, he would not be able to get back out there per the substitution rule. So they'll just go over there and wait to be beckoned back on as this cramp passes. He's sitting there at the halfway mark. There's the thumbs up from the fourth official. It's up to Lucas Feathers now to wave him back out there at some point. For that stoppage, it sets the table for the stretch run here. Just over 18 minutes to go on the ACC Network with Ian Carey. I'm Joe Malfa. Heavyweight bout tonight. NC State, 10th ranked in the country. If you look at the top drawer soccer rankings, they're number 5. Clemson unranked in the coaches poll, number 9 in the top drawer soccer rankings. Both these teams have been top 2 this year. NC State at one point number 1 in the coaches poll. Clemson at one point number 2. They had a stumble. They lost to VCU. They lost to Queens. Regathered themselves. They had an opportunity tonight on the road against the top team to prove they are the team to beat in the ACC. But for now, instead it's NC State proving that they are no fluke. You alluded to it earlier, Ian. They maybe have had a weaker schedule than some to this point overall. This would be their best win of the season if they can close this out now.
This would be a huge resume win. As you said, the strength of schedule was not questionable, but there was games there that Mark Hubbard knew, if I can get my team winning games, and if I can get them fluid scoring goals, we're going to be very successful when it comes into conference play. And that's what, that's his mantra. That's what he was building towards. As I said, this, as a resume win, this is something later on down the road, if you're going to NCAA tournament, etc., when the committee are looking at it, you're looking for potentially a seeding. This is a massive win, because this Clemson team are going to go on and win games. This Clemson team are very, very good.
Logan Herb has had 1 save to make tonight. It's been quiet. 9 shots for Clemson, just the 1 on target. Herb playing direct. Free kick here for NC State. Substitution coming as well on the side of Clemson. Seamus Streelman replacing Arthur Duquesne. Elsewhere, the scores have remained the same. Virginia up 1-0. Under 15 minutes remaining as they take on Notre Dame in Charlottesville. Duke and Boston College still scoreless. Duke has outshot Boston College 15-2. They've been up a man since the 27th minute, but still 0-0. Long throw from right around here that NC State scored their goal on the 53rd minute. Now we know that Isaac Heffes can reach after we asked that question earlier. He gets it to the edge of the 6. It falls again. It's blasted halfway to Durham. This one wasn't quite as well executed as the last one was back in that 53rd minute. How they scored the goal. Frankie DeFrancesco with his first for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, and you can see an unbelievable long throw in. It's one of those ones, they win the flick on. It creates absolute havoc in the box. And you've got to be in the right place at the right time to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's where DeFrancesco was. And you know what, again, puts NC State 1-0 up, puts smiles on this crowd's face, and potentially puts them in a position that they get to win over Clemson.
Made that change on the back line, Clemson, bringing on Seamus Streelman for Arthur Duquesne. Still looks, though, as if they're in that 3-back set. The freshman Streelman making his 5th appearance. Comes out of the Atlanta United Academy. Bent ahead to Donovan Phillip. Flag stays down. Phillip squares it back. Misplayed by Tay Healy and gathered by Ndema. That could have been the moment to go up to and put this to bed.
The person you wanted that ball to be cut back to from Phillip is Tay Healy onto his favorite left foot. Now look at him, you can see his body language. He wants that one back for sure. And he just, again, whether the ball bobbles just before his foot as he strikes it, that should be 2-0.
I wonder if it's in his head at this point. Hasn't scored yet this season, Tay Healy, after 6 goals last year. He's matched his assist total, 6 last year, 6 this year. But yet to score. Will that moment loom large? Back the other way now for Clemson. If they end up tying this game, the Tigers are going on to win. You'll remember that miss from Tay Healy. One-0 lead for the Wolfpack, 13.5 minutes remaining. Stevenson tucks it in for Ajabang. Wins it, Ajabang. It's for Gian battling for it. Back to Ajabang, now wide for Okunlola. Looking for a tying goal. Remy Okunlola mishits it. Markovic gives it right back.
Like that's your moment that you need to clear the box, because you can see there's players out there right now that are just dead on their feet and just trying to build and play out of the back when you know you've got such a talented group like Clemson that can come after you. Right, cannot miss pass a ball like that.
Ajabang. Magnuson. Just over a dozen minutes remaining now. Been chasing that goal since the 53rd minute. DeFrancesco gave NC State the lead that has held up. For now, Yoshizawa battling. A lot of contact there. And it was just over the line. Out for a goal kick. Great bit of defending in the end from Isaac Heffes.
You're watching the change that you're watching the changes that Clemson are making. You can see the spaces that it's creating for their players. But again, this is great. Shields the ball out, ball goes out, it's going to be a goal kick. But again, looking at the shape that they've put themselves into, defensively, it hasn't really changed, right? They're dropping back into that 5-back. They have those 2 midfielders, and they've got the 3 that will just try and navigate between NC State's back line to stop them from serving that long ball all the way up into Donovan Phillip, looking for players underneath them. But then when they're in the attack side it up, you can see it. They're going into a 3. They're continuing in that 3-back. They're pushing the 2 midfielders sitting in front of the 3, but it looks then in like a 1-4, which becomes a 5. The 2 wide players are getting so high up here, it's nearly like a 5 front. So they're just, again, pushing, looking for that goal. But then in transition, totally changing it back into that 5-2-3.
A couple of changes on the Clemson side. Cooper Heinlein for Mason Jimenez. And Abdou Mane enters as well for Thias Live. So that's maybe our indication that they are going to a little bit of a shift here now, Ian. Live was the one dropping back to be that extra center back. He's taken off for an attacking midfielder and a leg-for-leg change elsewhere with Cooper Heinlein coming in. So this could be the moment now with 12.5 to go that Mike Noonan is pushing that button and wants to go
exactly.
here.
Look at the setup right now, right? So they've got the 4 marking the 4. It's man for man. 4 forwards going after the 4 defenders. And they're like, okay, come on, go and try and build out from the back. You're not breaking this line right now, so we're going to have to force you to go long. You go long, you're hoping your 2 center backs are going to deal with business. And then Clemson come and pick it up. And all of a sudden they throw those numbers forward. So as you can see, they'll now go into that 3. Your wide middle drop in as a 4-back. Then you get your two midfielders just in front of your 2 center backs.
Trusting 2 freshmen right now, Mike Noonan, Abdou Mane, and Cooper Heinlein. Heinlein's 7th appearance, Mane's 8th appearance. Only 1 assist between them as far as goal contributions go. And on the other side was substitution that sees Caden Tolentino back out there, one of the captains for NC State, to help shepherd this over the finish line. He came on for Carlos Santamaria, who was being worked on there. Also gets a yellow card off the field. Santamaria had the only yellow card of the match to this point. Women's sports take over the afternoon every Sunday on the ACC network. This week at noon, a top 20 field hockey matchup. Number 3 North Carolina hosts number 19 Louisville, then 10th ranked SMU and 18th ranked Miami square off in volleyball. And we cap it with number 2 Notre Dame hosting SMU in soccer. All 3 also available on the all-new ESPN app. Intercepts the pass from the freshman Mane. Tommy all the way through toward Phillip. Poking it away was Magnuson. Back into McLean. Big midfielder feeds it wide for Lamai. Tommy. Streelman holds his ground. Good defending from the freshman. Up against the senior Callum Tommy. It's been 25 minutes since Clemson last recorded a shot in this one. They still have just 1 shot on target for the night. 11 minutes to try and find an equalizer.
It's beginning to get a little bit scrappy now. You see both sides are just playing mistimed passes, turning the ball over. It's going from Clemson to back to NC State, back to Clemson, etc., with no productivity at all.
NC State have outscored their opponents 30-2 this season. Tonight's goal and tonight's win would be the biggest one yet if they can hold on. That's why that insurance goal would be so vital. Again, now with just over 10 remaining, they find an insurance goal. Clemson would have to score as many goals in 10 minutes as NC State have given up all season. They'll breathe a lot easier, the Wolfpack, if they find that second. Tig Healy's miss a few moments ago still looms large, but here is the senior trying to make amends. Puts it wide of Donovan Phillip.
When the ball gets played into Healy, Donovan Phillip doesn't want that ball. Right, Donovan Phillip making that run to that side of the center back. It's either a decoy run to negate the space for Healy to go and drive into. But again, you're looking at Healy. 9-10 minutes left in the game. These guys will be running on fumes, right? So turning the ball over, you can see it, both sides doing it. It's just one person. Hey, settle down, put your foot on the ball, combine a couple of passes, get a rhythm. Because there's absolutely no rhythm in the game right now. As you see, there's one team just turning the ball over to the next, back and forth, back and forth.
NC State's okay with that, though.
Absolutely, they're winning 1-0.
They're
yes.
okay with it.
Yes, they're winning 1-0, but you know how dangerous, as we can see, Clemson now on the breakaway, you know how dangerous they are when they start throwing these numbers forward.
Streelman cutting inside. So many numbers back behind the ball for NC State. Aiden Payne coming on for Tig Healy, whose night is done. He'll have to watch these last 9:26 and hope that nothing changes. Opportunity he had to make it 2-0. He's had a really good night otherwise and has been outstanding this season for NC State.
He did. I've been really impressed with him tonight. He pulled the strings in midfield. He's a great left foot. He was very unfortunate not to get a couple of his shots on target, and he made the goalkeeper work for one save. So overall, a great night for Healy.
Aiden Payne, a bigger body there to put up top next to Donovan Phillip now as you try and see this game out. a target man to hold it up. A better defender on set pieces than Healy would be.
Payne was great in the first half when he came in for Condi. You know, as you said, he held the ball up, he got into some really good areas, and he served some really good balls into the box.
Logan Erb sends it long. Donovan Phillip tracking it. Puts it down toward Lamai. Unable to keep it in play. This would be quite the response from NC State's first loss of the season. This past weekend, down a man for the better part of the entire game against Virginia. Arguably one of the top teams in the country. Lose that game 1-0. That was on the heels of 3-0 win over UNC Wilmington. Draw prior to that on the road against Pitt. So these last couple of games have been wobbly by NC State standards, given the way they've started this season. Come back from that at home against Clemson, a team you haven't beaten since 2017, a team you've only beaten once since 2010. Come away with a victory if they hold on here. It's a massive response, and it tells you about the mettle of this Wolfpack group under Mark Hubbard. Why they are a legitimate contender, why they've been #1 ranked already this season. Magnuson looking over the top. This is ahead and away from Cooper Heinlein. Level at 1 now in Charlottesville. Jack Flanagan, 86th minute, ties it against the Hoos.
Again, we speak a million times about get yourself to the end line, go and isolate that defender and get a ball inside the box, and it's exactly what's happening here. And Jack Flanagan, again, a real clinical finish in at the near post. The goalkeeper with absolutely no chance.
Leading for over an hour. That's a game Virginia would have liked to seal off. If it ends 1-1, they'll feel disappointed, but it's a good Notre Dame team that's receiving votes and has been ranked recently. We expect to make some noise come tournament time. Only a couple of years removed, Notre Dame, from their own trip to College Cup. Free kick for NC State. It'll stop the clock because a card is coming out of the pocket. Frankie DeFrancesco into the book.
And again, we've seen something similar in the first half. You know, it's one of those fouls that NC State are away, and it has to be made because the ball has been played right into Phillip, who's about to go and spin the centre back and potentially get in on goal. So, are you willing to take that card for your team and give away that foul? Yeah, potentially.
Second changes everything. If they can find it now, the Wolfpack. Right in front of the Red Terrors. Already seen one goal in front of them in this second half. Frankie DeFrancesco in the 53rd minute. Now here we are in the 84th. Dropped in, headed square. Still on here for the Wolfpack. Lamai. Tight quarters, gets by his man. Slips at the end line. Thought he was fouled as he looked back at the assistant referee. Wave play on. Another free kick now for the Wolfpack.
Again, they're just being relentless. They're being relentless. Like, you know, your analogy of these are two heavyweight boxers in the last round. And it's a tie per se, or nobody wants to make a mistake because, again, NC State 1-0 up. They don't want to give away this equalizer. They want to go and press. They want to go and press. Clemson don't want to make a mistake. They want to go and get the equalizer. But they know if they make a mistake in their final third, the ball ends up in the back of net and it's 2-0.
13 goals off set pieces this season, NC State. Others scored off throw-ins. Now from the free kick, whipped in by Maloney and gathered by Ndema. Clemson running out of time here, just 5 minutes remaining, and they haven't taken a shot in a half an hour. 54th minute, almost responding immediately to that 53rd minute goal. Ajabang has to be careful here. He just picked up a yellow. That foul in and of itself was borderline. And the reaction of the referee, Lucas Feathers.
Yeah, I think if that was his first foul, I think he would have pulled out the card and it would have been a yellow. I think he's now on the... He's been nice, right? We know potentially if this was last Sunday against Virginia, that would have been a second yellow and it would have been a red. Like he would have got his marching orders. But I think the referee has done well here. He spoke to him, he's cautioned him, and said, "Hey, one more and you're done." But again, Clemson. This is not what Clemson. All of a sudden, NC State, the momentum is going in their favor right now. The more times you foul, they can go and get a breather. They can be calm and composed. You're just eating into what they want right now, and it's everything right now is in NC State's hands. Still be cautious, just again defensively looking at the numbers that Clemson are leading forward. You don't want to leave yourself isolated 2v1 up here, especially the shape of you. Drop one in behind him, have one in front. Then you're a little bit better organized. Looking at the counter-attack, you already see that Clemson have one either side of the ball, one either side of the field, so they know they can get out on the counter-attack. So this has to be a quality delivery.
See what Maloney has in store. Has to spring it quickly. Ajabang. Battle for the ball right in front of Lucas Feathers. Taken away by Payne. Looking for Phillip. Flag stays down as he's taken wide and has to recover. Slips on his own accord. Play on. I've seen a lot of players slipping down that end of the field. We walked the pitch pregame. It was in terrific condition.
Yeah, I think as the night's going on, you'd be questioning what they're wearing on the feet. Are they wearing actual studs, or are they wearing, cleats that are for more of a firm ground? And if it is for a firm ground, you've got, the dew coming down on the grass. It's going to become slippy.
Just about to say, this is one of the first chilly, dewy nights here of the season. On October 10th, temperatures upper 50s. A little bit different than what they've had at home so far this season.
Fall has arrived. Very
much so. Donovan Phillip is calling for it, trying to bend that run between the center backs. Never got it to him. Under 4 to play. Okunlola to Richmond. Quiet tonight, Nathan Richmond. Hit the crossbar in the first 15 minutes of the game and haven't heard much from him since. Streelman. Can they manufacture something? The Tigers, a team that have scored a lot late this season. 8 in the final 20 minutes of games. Another foul against Clemson. That'll allow NC State to take some more time off the clock. Change for Clemson, bringing on Duncan Wilson for Misei Yoshizawa. Wilson making just his 6th appearance. He's only played 98 minutes, the sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years ago. Bigger body, different profile than Misei Yoshizawa at a point in the game where you might have to just start lumping it forward. That is a corner. Clemson was watching with bated breath, hoping that it nicked them for the deflection. They did.
And I'm taking my time with the corner. As you see, I'm walking over to it, placing it, making sure everything is well set up. I think it's, again, this is the piece a little bit better, right? You've got 4v3 at the back. NC State just taking a log out of the defensive playbook, making sure that they've got things covered and not allowing to go on the counter.
2 minutes to go. They won't go direct on this corner. They'll keep it down there and kind of milk this clock. Clemson, they'll come away with it. One right back by Lamai, and they'll keep it here for a throw.
Lamai's been fantastic tonight. You know, and it's interesting, right? So like, when you're watching these guys on TV, and then you actually go down pitch side before the game and you're actually standing beside them. Like, I'm 6'3", and I'm looking up at these guys. Like, they are absolutely huge. So their presence on the field, their ability to hold up a ball, their strength, all around. The players, again, when you make that step from a mid-major into the ACC, the difference is unbelievable.
Donovan Phillip. Here at the end of this one with the fouls and with the way things have gone, but that's NC State's game when they have a lead. They're okay with that. They are one of the, if not the most disciplined teams in the country. Actually had an official that we had a chance to chat with pregame recently, who had just recently done an NC State game, tell us in his multiple decades of refereeing ACC soccer, he has never seen a team as buttoned up and disciplined as this NC State group. And we have seen that ever since they've taken this lead.
But disciplined and well organized. As you said, you know, what shape are they going to play? What are they going to transition into? If they go a goal up or a goal down, like, how are they going to be calm and composed on the ball? And you see it. You see it right from the get-go. Look how organized they are. The line pushes up when the ball goes down the other side of the field. You know, they're able to get numbers forward. They're calm and composed now in the right moments. As you said, they're very, very, very disciplined. That was silly. That was silly by Donovan Phillip. He's done all the hard work all night. You're hoping this card does not come back to haunt them later on in the season. But when the ball's going out for a Clemson throw, you've got 30 seconds left on the clock and you kick it away for a yellow card. Silly, silly, silly foul.
Gianna almost got around Markovic. 20 seconds remaining. Clemson has to get it forward in a hurry. Cleared out of play. Countdown begins from 10. I don't know if Clemson can get it forward quickly enough. They've had one shot on target all night. This NC State defense flexes its muscles again. For the first time since 2017, the Wolfpack down the Tigers.
And justly deserved. The work